Hi, I'm Jeff Richards, and welcome to Japan Today Spotlight. In 2023, the National Institute of Population and Social Security Research projected that Japan's total population would fall below 87 million by the year 2070. It's about 123 million now. 10% of Japan's population will be foreigners, and much sooner than that, by about 2040, according to the Institute's latest projection. Already, dozens of municipalities have crossed that threshold. One village in Hokkaido reports that more than 1/3 of its residents are foreign nationals. That shift is already reshaping policy, and in ways foreign residents here didn't really expect. That's both good and bad news for foreigners. That's good for Japan's economy. It's good news for employers, but it's also driving policy decisions that are unsettling many foreign residents. In this week's edition of Japan Today Spotlight, we look at what policies the government is drafting for foreigners who are already living here and who wish to get permanent residency, for those looking to renew their work visas, and for those seeking to come to Japan. The government plans to substantially hike visa fees for foreign residents in the next fiscal year. It's hoping to utilize that additional revenue to strengthen policies that support multiculturalism. The cost of changing your visa status or renewing your visa for a term of 1 year or longer will be increased by up to 40,000 yen from the current 6,000 yen. A permanent residency visa may soar from 10,000 yen to over 100,000 yen. These new fees are expected to be in line with those of Western countries. The government is considering adding Japanese language proficiency to the requirements for permanent residency when an amendment to the Immigration Control and Refugee Recognition Act comes into effect in April 2027. This has left a lot of foreign residents who are hoping to get PR confused because the government has not specified exactly what proficiency means. Another requirement for PR is raising the required minimum income, but no figure for how high that level will be has been mentioned. Critics say it's likely to favor wealthy expats. Currently, a foreigner applying for permanent residency must have resided in Japan for at least 10 years and provide evidence of having the means to support themselves, among some other vague and not outlined requirements. The revised law will also allow for permanent residency to be revoked if the holder intentionally neglects public obligations, things like paying taxes and health insurance. But it's important to note that this applies to all foreign residents anyway, no matter what their visa status is. Now, the government is also considering capping the number of foreign workers it accepts under its new training and employment system. It will limit that number to around 426,000 in the first 2 years after the program launches in fiscal 2027. The new system is aimed at replacing that technical intern training program for foreigners, and it will encourage workers to then transition to specified skilled worker status, which allows for longer stays after working for 3 years. The new system covers 17 sectors, including agriculture and construction. Stricter rules for part-time work by international students are also being reviewed. The goal is to prevent them from working more hours than they're actually permitted. Currently, students may work up to 28 hours a week in jobs outside their designated status, if granted permission by immigration authorities. Meanwhile, the visa status for engineers, specialists in humanities, and international services will be more strictly enforced. Its name is likely to change as well, since humanities and international services are hard to define. Tourism is a separate issue, but politically it often gets folded into the same debate. The government is looking to triple the departure tax to 3,000 yen per person. Japanese travelers will also have to pay the higher tax, but the government will reduce the fee for getting a passport for them from 16,000 yen to 7,000 yen. Japan collected a record 52.48 billion yen in departure tax revenue in the year ended March 2025. The government aims to use the increased tax income to address concerns about overcrowding, congestion, and poor behavior at tourist sites. Another measure is to charge visiting foreigners a fee of about 3,000 yen for a planned online pre-travel screening system called JESTA, the Japanese version of US ESTA, or Electronic System for Travel Authorization. JESTA is set to start in fiscal 2028. It's aimed at preventing terrorism and illegal employment of foreign visitors to Japan. It will require visa-exempt foreign nationals to declare their purpose of entry and place of stay online. Information will be screened by the Immigration Services Agency before they travel. If their application is flagged as an illegal stay risk, the required travel authorization won't be granted, and the traveler won't be allowed to even board the plane. According to the Immigration Services Agency, 3,956,619 foreign nationals resided in Japan as of the end of June 2025, up about 5% from the end of 2024. By nationality, the top three were Chinese, Vietnamese, and South Koreans. Numbers were also up for workers from Myanmar and Nepal. Permanent residents comprised the largest group at 932,090, followed by the visa categories for engineers, specialists in humanities, and international services, which numbered a combined 458,109. They were followed by trainees under Japan's much criticized Technical Intern Training Program at 449,432. The main reasons for the influx of foreign workers are the labor shortage and the depopulation of towns in regional areas in Japan. Younger Japanese have moved to the cities, leaving local employers struggling to hire enough staff. Population data compiled by the government's basic resident register for 1,892 municipalities shows that high concentrations of foreign residents are clustered in industrial and tourist areas, as well as communities with long-established foreign populations. Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's coalition government has called for tighter controls on foreigners. In a policy speech, she said illegal activity and rule breaking by some of them had created public anxiety and a sense of unfairness. Others, though, argue coexistence is unavoidable. Tsukasa Sasai, a demography professor from the Fukui Prefectural University, said Japan is already a society that cannot survive without coexistence with foreigners. He said that creating an environment where foreigners can successfully establish themselves as part of the workforce would offer significant benefits to Japanese society. But there's still a fear that too many foreigners will disrupt Japan's way of life. With that in mind, Takaichi gave Economic Security Minister Kimi Onoda a new portfolio to promote a society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence with foreign nationals. How local communities feel. In December, members of groups supporting foreign nationals in Japan staged a rally outside the Tokyo Diet to protest xenophobia and moves to tighten restrictions on foreigners. The participants, including the Solidarity Network with Migrants Japan, a nonprofit group, issued a statement. It called for the establishment of a basic law that guarantees the human rights of foreigners and ethnic minorities in Japan. In it, the participants criticized measures to realize this society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence. It says that the government seems to have no intention of coexisting. Instead, it has stepped up its control and surveillance of foreigners. A 54-year-old female farmer in Tobishima, Aichi Prefecture, said foreign residents work hard, while a 78-year-old farmer said he's noticed no particular problems despite their rapid increase. A 75-year-old woman said she appreciates their labor, but worries the number of people unfamiliar with Japanese customs will grow. And an 83-year-old woman added that the sudden changes in her community surroundings have left her feeling uneasy. Near Nagoya Port, the president of a manufacturing plant says his 4 Vietnamese employees are essential. He said they're valuable assets, and if they were to leave, his company couldn't survive. The owner of a canning factory in Choshi in Chiba Prefecture has been hiring foreigners for the past 20 years. He says they're people with their own dreams and plans, and they have the right to choose. We respect those choices, and if they choose to stay, we want to keep supporting them. Across Japan, foreign workers are keeping factories, fisheries, and workshops afloat. Many of them live together in company dorms. In December, an advisory panel to Justice Minister Hiroshi Hiraguchi handed him a report. It called for a more inclusive society in which both Japanese and non-Japanese residents can coexist. The panel, mostly consisting of academics, called for more steps to help foreign residents integrate smoothly into society by holding seminars designed to improve their Japanese language skills and learn more about Japanese culture and customs. They're also encouraging communities where there are large numbers of foreign workers in factories to take part in local festivals and activities. But as wages rise in neighboring countries, many business owners worry that Japan may no longer be an attractive destination for this workforce demographic. The Japan Business Federation, or Keidanren, has called for the establishment of a permanent headquarters led by the Prime Minister, that will compile policies related to foreigners across agencies and ministries. It pointed out that Japan is at a turning point. It says steps to promote the smooth integration of foreign workers and their families into society are essential, particularly with regard to education and social services. Keidanren also noted that public anxiety had been prompted by media reports that some foreigners were engaging in illegal activities and not complying with rules. These reports were fueled by populist parties like Sanseito and its Japanese-first platform. Keidanren wants to see a shift in mindset from passive acceptance of foreigners to strategic acquisition of foreign talent. It suggested placing more focus on the quality as well as quantity of foreigners accepted. It includes clearly defining what kind of human resources the country is hoping to attract from overseas, which does sound kind of tactical. Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Kihara said the government will compile a comprehensive set of measures to address all the issues related to foreign residents and tourists after the regular Diet session is convened on January 23rd. The goal, he said, is to build a safe, secure, orderly, and inclusive society for people and foreigners living in our country. Sounds familiar. Many of these proposals are still vague. Others are years away. Taken together, though, they point in a clear direction, but it's still deciding what kind of society it wants to be in the modern world and who truly belongs in it. We'll know more after the Diet session begins later this month. From the Japan Today newsroom in Tokyo, I'm Jeff Richards. See me next time.